Welcome to the Aroma Paths Podcast. We are your scentcasters, Jennifer Pressimone and Sharon Falsetto Chapman, bringing over 40 years of combined experience. Aromatics are our passion, and we'll be sharing holistic tips, herbal remedies, and essential oils in a simple way to make your health journey easier. Let's start our walk together.
Aroma Paths stepping fresh through the mist. Essential oils lifting vibes, feel the twist.
Hi, and welcome to another episode with Sharon and Jennifer's Aroma Paths Talk Show Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about scents for focus and energy. Being a new year, we love to set our intentions, get our mindset right, get really energized and focused for all the goals and all the things that we want to accomplish this month and in the coming weeks, in the coming year. And I would like to welcome my fellow scentcaster, Sharon Falsetto Chapman. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Jennifer. How are you? It's start of a new year and time to reset and get our focus and energy back on track after, I think last year was kind of like a pretty tough year for a lot of us. So this is a great podcast to get us back on track, I think.
Yeah, time to recharge and just really rejuvenate and renew. When I think of a new year, I think of renewal, but there's also opportunity. And even coming off of a tough year, and if you're watching and listening and you had a great year, your best year ever, okay, well then let's double that. Let's double that this year. Wherever you are in your journey, the goal is let's just be a better version of ourselves today than we were yesterday. Whether we're comparing by years, days, or weeks, it doesn't matter. As long as you wake up and you lead with authenticity and you lead with pure intentions and you stay true to yourself. We're going to have tough days. We're going to have really challenging days, but we're also going to have really great days. And that's what we want to focus on in this episode is how to do some mindset shifting when we feel down in the dumps and depressed or defeated, disappointed, deflated. How can we refocus? How can we catch ourselves right now in this moment? Focus. Because when we focus, we feel so much more motivated. Our mood is going to be so better. And that starts with energy. So we want to provide you with some scents, holistic solutions that we use, that we love to help us improve our energy, but also improve our focus, concentration, alertness to be present. What's going on right now so that we can set those right intentions and then we can create action steps and habits that reinforce those goals that we've set. And then we feel this sense of accomplishment little by little, right? Mile by mile. It's about the sprint, not the marathon.
Yeah, I think sometimes we set ourselves too much to do in one day, or the day doesn't go exactly as we planned. And that's when we feel defeated. I think a good tip at the end of the day is to focus on what did I achieve and celebrate those little successes. And there's always something. I mean, even if you just got out of bed, for some people that can be a celebration. For people that struggle with depression, it's just getting out of bed. And some days I have days I cannot focus at all. And it just like everything goes wrong that you touch or doing, or you get bombarded with emails and texts that wasn't on your plan and you just wanted to do what you needed to do that day. Some days and this is something I've learned this past year, is okay, this isn't happening today. So I just get my dog and I go outside and I go for a walk or just reset basically. And I often find that coming back to it, whether that's an hour or two later or the following day, things seem to flow a bit better after that. I think sometimes you're fighting against a force that it's not going to work. You've got to kind of walk away from it, step away from it, because life is hard, it's challenging at times. And then there's days that everything goes right. You just check so many things off your list to do. It's just like, phew. And I got all those things done and then some more. And that was a great day. But then I sometimes find that's followed up by a day that's not doing so well. And I'm like, okay, so that's why I got all that stuff done yesterday, because today is going to be more challenging. But taking a step back from that, I think sometimes is a good piece of advice.
Love that. Just kind of whenever you're just up against a wall and you're having maybe a creative block or a mental block or a task block, not able to get anything to gain traction on the tasks that you're doing or a project that you're working on, step away from it, break that cycle, break that energetic lull.
Mhm.
Because you're right, walking in nature can re-energize and reconnect you with yourself and say, okay, let's stop that momentum from going in an unfocused direction. Let's get rooted, let's get grounded. I love to walk out or take a little break, grab my oils, smell them, just to regroup and to reground myself, and then go back with a clear head and say, all right, what one thing, if I'm going to work on this, what one thing could I accomplish in the next 15 to 30 minutes that would
Right.
move the needle? And sometimes when I put that pressure on myself, like I do work, I don't like deadlines, but I do work well with them to say, all right, here's the parameters. This has to be done like right now. Breaking that up, because if you have this big goal and you break it up into little steps, and sometimes we have to reverse engineer that, is to say, all right, here's my goal, here's the outcome that I want, what are the steps to get me there? And you break up those steps into little bite size. What I'm learning about myself is that I try to do it all at one time. I think I'm going to sit down and write a novel like in the next 2 hours. And that defeats me before I even get started, because I've already overloaded exactly what you said. I've overloaded my
Mhm.
list. I put too many things on the list. It's not going to get done. So coming into this year, one of the rules and the boundaries that I'm going to set for myself, and this is really important in our self-care practice, is to say, okay, if I could only accomplish 3 things today, what would they be? One can be on a big project, and 2 can be on a medium to smaller project. But if I only got 3 done, then I can check those off at the end of the day. And the bigger project, remember, it's an action step. It's not the whole project.
Mhm.
So I'm going to be better about having my goal, having the outcome, creating those reverse engineered action steps, and then start with those steps and plot them out. And actually, I'm going old school. We are on the computer so much, so I'm going old school. I printed out a calendar and I'm handwriting on there so I can check them off, because there is joy in that and saying, yes, this is,
Right.
and by writing it out, I'm committing that's priority to me. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm reinforcing it with the scent. So I love doing the intuitive readings and just grabbing scents intuitively. So if I come back behind me and I grab a scent intuitively, the one that I picked up is cinnamon. And I love cinnamon because it's really good for prosperity and abundance. So that's what I'm coming into this year with. But it's not just prosperity financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, just nourishing from head to toe, inside and out. I think that's going to be really important. And so I'm going to recommend taking a big action, coming up with the outcome, reverse engineering that, come up with your action steps, grab a scent to anchor that. So when I go to do that project is now assigned cinnamon. So every time I go to do that project and I smell cinnamon, I know I'm in that project mode. So if I'm going to be writing a new course, I'm in course writing mode. Smell cinnamon, I'm in course writing mode. I think it's a nice way to incorporate scent and use it to reinforce and to anchor you into those moments to stay focused.
I like that idea. Yeah, I've never really used it that way, but I do. I like that idea. And it's funny, one of the oils that I was drawn to, and it's in my, I'm just doing a bit of self promotion here. It's in my new spring fragrance, which will be coming out. And it's an unusual one because it represents energy to me as opposed to focus. It's energy, gives you energy. It's got a bit of zestiness. Is lime, and this is what I've got here, is lime oil. It's not one, I just give it a, you want the smell of it? It's not one that I really worked with that much, and I didn't know how I was going to incorporate it into my fragrance, but it's not quite finished yet, but it's working really well. It's got that unusual aroma in there. So I'd love to know what lime represents, how as an intuitive reading.
I love lime. Lime is really good. And you think of lemon and lime. Lemon is yellow, it's the light, right? But you look at the elements, like it's the air, it's the light, it's the sky. It helps you look up, it helps you find your way. With lime being green, it's the earth, it's nature. It helps you find balance. And I love lime. And that was actually one I was going to mention for focus and for energy is lime paired with spearmint, because they're both
Oh,
really
wow.
good to help you adjust and adapt, shift, and pivot with change. And I know you have a lot of change. 2025 is going to
Yeah.
bring a lot of change for you. But
Yeah,
lime,
that's
it's good to help you transition and shift and go with the flow.
so you see, I was intuitively drawn towards that because you're right. I'm not quite ready to share what it is, but I've got a lot of changes coming up in 2025. And so, yeah, lime must have been speaking to me. And it's funny you mentioned spearmint because I have the mints on my list for focus. I had peppermint is often like what I call a sharp focus. But spearmint and also to some extent bergamot mint, they've got a softer focus. They're not as sharp as peppermint to me. So I've not spearmint with lime before. And I'm also thinking maybe bergamot mint. These might be two good ones for me, like my scent of 2025 to pair together to give the focus and the energy that I need, that I'm going to need to get through all of this. So yeah, that's great, Jennifer. Thank you for that.
And spearmint is also good when you're scattered. And there's a difference with, I always think of peppermint as very dry, sharp, goes right in, focused, when it's
Yeah.
very authoritative and saying, no, put your eyes on the paper and stay focused. But spearmint is a little bit more gentle to say, all right, I see that you're unfocused. I see that you're lacking some energy here. Put everything down. It's more of the nurturer, like the mother, the caretaker role of coming in to say, all right, you're a very scattered. Let's just shift. I want you to turn this way. And again, the thing with lime and spearmint, especially when paired together, is they just help you take one step to the left or the right and see a different perspective. Sometimes we're so focused to what you were talking about earlier, is when we're so focused on something and we can't see the bigger picture, there's something causing you not to be focused. There's something causing you from lacking the energy to infuse energy into your intentional focused area. And so we want to go back and try to figure out, sometimes we just got to step away to do that. And spearmint and lime are very particular to say, just look at it from this way or look at it from this way. Quit looking at it head on because you're missing something. And so that's why I love them. I love the oils. They're like people to me. They all have personalities. And when we understand their personalities, we certainly can use them, because you may need lime and spearmint to focus, but I may need something different based on where I'm at. And that's the power of intuitive blending or intuitive choosing, freestyle blending, as I call it. You just grab an
Right.
oil and you're going to gravitate to whatever you need. And this was a great example of that.
So with spearmint and lime, because they're both kind of top notes, and I guess for focus and energy, you kind of need that up there. But I'm thinking, would you perhaps throw in something like frankincense to ground it with that? Or would that pull it down too much? I mean, I'm just brainstorming here with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I love to add in a tree. And I think we have to figure out, for me, when I'm choosing a tree oil, I want to know, what exactly do I need that tree oil to do? So when I think of frankincense, if I feel disconnected, lost, I can't find my way, then I will use frankincense. And I love to pair lemon and frankincense together in either a 2-to-1 ratio or a 3-to-1 ratio. But if I am I'm thinking of your case, okay, we just need to keep you grounded and rooted, but you still need to be flexible. You need to
Right.
be flexible because lime and spearmint are about change, shift, pivot, adapt. And we have to be mobile to do that. You have to be flexible to do that. So, cypress, right? Cypress is a fluid mover. So, fluid movers, and you look at cypress trees, they're in on the banks of lakes
Right.
and in
And
water
mountain.
places, and they can withstand that rough water. So, when things are going to get rattled, you still can maintain your composure. I intuitively am feeling for you. I'm feeling Cypress would be a better fit because I don't feel you lost and scattered and disconnected from who you are. I just feel you need stability while shifting and pivoting to that. So I would go with Cypress. If I needed more strength, no, I need something stable. Don't move. I just need really stern stability. That would be cedar. And then
Okay.
for an
Yeah.
exhaustive energy, I would go with pine.
Cypress is also a native tree around here, Arizona cypress. And you mentioned about seeing them on lakes and stuff, but you also see them clinging onto the side of the mountain here that you wouldn't expect them to be where they're growing, and they're kind of, yeah, stabilizing things a little bit there. So I think cypress might be a good choice, and I love the aroma of cypress as well. I think it's really nice, the cypress, spearmint, and lime together. I think, yeah, it's probably going to be my 2025 blend. We hadn't really set out to put a blend together here, but here we are. We put a
I
blend
know.
together. Just, brainstorming between us. So that is focus and energy, balancing the mind and the emotions as well. Another one that I like for just general balancing is geranium, because it can balance the mind, the heart, and the emotions. And I also always love to have geranium plants on my porch as well. So I don't know if there's some connection there, but I always love to have them on the porch, kind of keeping me balanced out as well. So that's another one that I would use for balancing.
I was thinking you needed a fourth oil. So I love the spearmint and the lime, and then I love the root, but I felt like you needed one in the middle that was a balancer. So, and I was like, I wonder what it is. And I'm like, you're going to say it. And you did, geranium. I think for you, it's about home and balance and just that harmonious, maintaining
Yeah.
this harmony at home. And when you have that harmony, and remember, home can be our physical location, but your heart, home is where the heart is. It's where your heart is. And so it just really brings you home.
Yes, geranium is a great one for balancing everything out, like we were just saying, because I feel like putting something in there, like something like ylang ylang and neroli, is just too deep for balancing out. And even rose, because geranium is like a little bit lighter than rose, even though it's got a rose like aroma. But these were just some of my other kind of ones that I would throw in, and kind of related to the heart as well.
And the thing when you're balancing those out and you're blending them in, you don't want it to be too heavy, because when a
Mhm.
blend is too heavy or too balanced, you lose a little bit of that connection to your creative side. So, if what I find by adding in a little bit, but if you put too much, it would be good if you needed more balancing and more grounding. But if you're trying to be more productive and get the creative juices flowing, you want to keep it light and airy while still having those roots and that balancer that's in there. So I do love those. Another one that I think is really important to mention, I can't talk about focus and energy without bringing up rosemary.
Right.
Rosemary was for remembrance, but also love, death, and remembrance is the symbolism. Perfect. And it's,
So my
and then
God.
you look at that and it's very stern. It's got a very stern
Yeah.
stalk in it, but then you have the leaves that are very strong and stern, and it's got a lot of scent. It's very fragrant. And so that's
Yeah.
showing you this power. It's got a strength about it to strengthen memory, right? And that you think of it, the spine, but also coming up in the nerves, the neurons that are connecting with our cognitive functions. I think it's so important to help you stay focused, to concentrate, to be alert. And really, I think of it like the CoQ10 in aromatherapy. I would think of rosemary as our CoQ10 vitamin because it puts oxygen in the blood and it keeps circulation moving. And you have to have circulation if you're going to think clearly, if you're going to be
Yeah.
rational, if you're going to be able to get things done. I think it's so important. I'm glad that you brought it.
Well, I keep harvesting it even throughout the winter here. It's one that just continually grows, and I love putting it on my cooking dishes and also as a tea. I find it very interesting as a tea. It's got a little
Yeah.
bit of spice to it, but it's not too spicy. I just picked some rosemary and I thought, oh, I'll just put some back here. I also love peppermint. It's not as sharp as the essential oil for a tea. I like drinking a cup of peppermint tea in the morning. I love the taste of it, and just kind of it helps you clear the kind of brain fog a little bit
Yeah.
in the morning. And
It's
so, but
like an
I,
herbal coffee.
yes, exactly. People say, "Oh, I haven't had my coffee." I'm like, "Oh, I haven't had my peppermint tea this morning yet." I know that's and when I travel or go to conferences and stuff, I take the peppermint tea in the tea bag with me because everyone's running for the coffee and I just have to have the peppermint tea. I just find that it helps focus as well. I haven't got any fresh peppermint to show you because it's kind of all there's really nothing much in the garden at this time of the year. It's too cold for that. But the rosemary for sure. You see it all around town as well. I mean, it loves the desert climate here. It just grows prolifically and it's one of the ones that flowers as well, even during the winter. Although we're having a pretty warm winter here, we haven't seen any snow yet. We have got ice in the morning. During the day, it's up to 60s and 70s, which is highly unusual for this time of year here. I hope plants aren't getting confused.
Yeah, that's true. We've been a little bit cold in Florida. It was about 40, 45 not that long ago, a couple nights ago. And I think now today we're back up to 75. So same thing. I mean, just like with us, it affects our mood, but it also affects the plants,
Right.
as well. Are they thriving? Are they getting enough water? Hey, are we hot today? Are we cold today? Are
Yeah.
we wet? Are we dry?
And another one that I like for tea, this is just dried from what I collected this summer, is, well, I think this was the summer before, but I have got some from this summer, is bee balm. Because I kind of find that soothing for the soul if we're trying to balance things out. It's just, I don't know. It's got a little bit of, if people are wondering what it tastes like, it's got a little bit of a minty taste to it, but it's not mint. It's kind of difficult to describe it. It's a good one to pair with mint. It's of the same
It's
plant
very
family, the
herbally.
Namaceae family. So that would be another one. If I was going to maybe combine that with peppermint, if you needed something was a little bit more soothing. But if you really, really wanted to go for super blend or get you going, I suppose peppermint and rosemary would be really get you going on a morning. I have not tried the two together.
Oh,
Get you
it's wonderful.
Oh, have you? You've tried the two together? I liked them individually. Do you get more of the minty taste or more of the rosemary taste?
It's almost like equal. I mean, it really is. If you put rosemary and peppermint and it has a baby, that's what it tastes like. You get the camphor is magnified, but then you get the sweet minty that comes through and then the sharpness of the rosemary. I mean, it really is a beautiful combination. Sometimes I will throw in a little bit of ginger for the tea as well. And that kind of adds a little bit of spice in. But if I
Right,
needed something to soothe the nerves, so because sometimes in focus, it's not always about stimulants. Sometimes we need relaxant to
right,
calm the nerves. And in those cases, I will put in a little bit of chamomile because that's more of a soother. So keep in mind, sometimes we do want the energy, we do want the stimulants, we do want the elevating oils and herbs, but you might need to pair it to support your nervous system and balance out that parasympathetic system functions. You might need to add in something that's more of a relaxant to that. I wouldn't do a ton of relaxants unless you're just like panic mode, anxiety through the roof. Because remember, our goal is to be at balance. And if you're up here, we need to calm you down to bring you here. But if we're down here, then we need the stimulants to raise up. And if you're already feeling pretty balanced, then you do a combination of the two, because a lot of times most people want to work on what's not right. Hey, I'm not focused. I'm not energized. I don't feel good. But we forget to focus on and nurture and support what is working. And if you're already balanced, hey, I'm doing great. I woke up great. I'm in a great mood. I've got great brain power. I'm focused. I'm energized. Then let's keep you that way. And so adding in your
Right.
remedies is going to be twofold. It's to strengthen what is already strong, but also strengthen the weaknesses. So our overall goal is to stay at balance through the daytime. That's really how you sustain the energy and the focus.
Yeah, and just I'm thinking of going back to the plant situation and the plants getting confused if the seasons are a little bit confused. As humans, we tend to stick up to that as well. And maybe it's that we're kind of drawn to different scents at different times of the year. I mean, I'm thinking like we're heading towards spring as this podcast will be going out. You know, we've still got a couple of months of winter, but maybe this is the reason I put lime in my spring fragrance, because it's that kind of energizing, lifting up, whereas winter fragrances tend to be more going inward on yourself. It's a different kind of focus. It's like focusing on you, whereas your energy is kind of going out a little bit more in the spring and the summer, and then in the autumn and the fall they're going inward again. So it's kind of staying in balance with the seasons as well as the rhythm of nature, I think helps us keep us balanced. People are not surrounded by nature, are not as balanced. I don't need that in a bad way, but haven't got the connection to nature the same as if you're getting out. I guess this is swinging back around to getting out in nature when you're feeling out of focus and out of balance. Get back out into nature. So yeah, it goes full circle.
Yeah. And it's really going to be, what do you need? Where are you at in your cycle of life? Because it's really good to align yourself with the seasons. I know in Florida, we really just have warm and hot. And sometimes we have a little bit of cold. We don't have a ton of seasons, but it still is important to eat for the seasons, to plant and garden for the seasons, and to nurture yourself, your mind, your body, your heart, your gut, your soul, every fiber of your being. It's important to really stay connected to the seasons of our planet and of really the entire solar system. That's how we stay in alignment. There are going to be things that happen all around us, but when you stay rooted and balanced and grounded in yourself and you nurture yourself, it can do that automatically for you. And that's why I love bringing in the plants, whether it's through herbs, tinctures, hydrosols, teas, and aromatic, to help you stay connected with nature, to help you really get your whole system, your head, heart, and gut, stay in alignment with that. One of the things I wanted to share is I pulled 4 oils that if I had to create a blend on the fly for focus and energy, and I'm thinking of, okay, this is a new year. I need to feel revived and recharged and rejuvenated. What is that? And I did grab 2 of them intuitively and 2 of them purposefully. Peppermint and rosemary were the 2 I chose purposefully, because rosemary is just so significant of cognition and brain and focus and concentration. Peppermint, because it helps you stay alert and it helps you learn new things. It helps you take in new ideas and learn new things. The 2 that I chose intuitively, one was tangerine. And I think about tangerine and the significance of tangerine, and it helps to stop ruminating thoughts. Any thoughts that fill your mind that are naysayers, that are doubt fillers, that say, oh, I can do this. Oh, but wait, maybe you can't. Or there's something that's just ruminating that's keeping you from taking a forward movement or building momentum. That would be tangerine. And then the 4th oil was lemongrass. And lemongrass, I love lemon. Normally, I would have picked
Right.
lemon because there's so much science, even with lemon and with jasmine, that they did some studies where they showed in rooms where people had to type something up, the room that had the jasmine and a separate room that had the lemon typed twice as fast and twice as accurate than those who had no scent. So the power of scent to increase your
Yes.
ability, your functions, your cognition, and your performance was really important. So I would normally pick lemon, but I chose lemongrass intuitively. And lemongrass, you think of the blades of grass as very strong but flexible. So I think, Sharon, for you picking lime, for me it was lemongrass, almost for the same reason, to stay strong and rooted, but to be flexible and mobile and sway when the wind blows.
Right.
It's really, really good for that. So I'm going to take one drop. I'm actually going to do one drop of each. I might do
Yeah.
2 drops tangerine being a top note. I'll probably do 2 drops tangerine, one rosemary, one peppermint, one lemongrass on my cotton round here. And then this is what I do every day. So I've been doing this for the past year, but every morning I start with a scent reading for myself. I'll do my prayer, I'll do my meditation, but then I do a scent reading for myself and I'll grab 2, 3, maybe 4 oils intuitively. And then I put 1 drop of each. And this is my blend for the day. So I think that's important. And so the new thing I'll do is when I'm working on a project, I'm going to assign an oil to that project so I can anchor myself in that project. So that's going to be a new task I'm going to work on in this coming year.
That sounds wonderful. Just doing that for yourself is something I need to do more for myself because I think of all the different blends for different people, but yeah, I kind of neglect myself a little bit. I mean, the blend that we kind of came up with my blend with lime
Yeah, we did.
and geranium and sand peppermint. And one way I would say what I would have maybe put it in is you can put to get going on the morning is maybe it's in a shower wash, like a shower wash, but shower gel, like Castile soap base, and put it in that and use it. And yeah, it kind of gets you going in the morning. I don't really take a shower in the morning. I'm more of a bath person, but maybe this year I might be kind of drawn towards that because I'm going to need that to get focused on the day and get energized on the day. So that might be a new practice that I start and just put it in the Castile soap and yeah, have a shower and yeah, okay, we're all set for the day. Peppermint tea, shower wash, we're ready to go. So yeah, new year, new and intentions, new, setting new goals. I think we've got it covered, Jennifer. I hope this is a good start to the year.
It's a great start to the year. I feel so energized, and especially talking with you now, I'm really excited about using these scents to really empower and fuel our mind and our body to be able to do all the things we need to do. I am going to be more mindful of how many things I put on the list. I'm really bad about that. So that's going to be my goal. I don't know that I want to call it a resolution. I do want to call it a healthier habit that I need to
Right.
create for myself, is being realistic, because this is the thing. When you put too much on the list, look at all the other
Mhm.
things I'm missing out on, right? I'm cramming too much on there. I'm not able to enjoy so much more stuff. And we recently got a new puppy. And so now I have puppy energy in the house. And so 2 dogs and a cat, we're working through that relationship. They're all doing great together, but I do want to make time to
Yeah.
savor the moments and really enjoy things more. So I think that is so important. We want to thank you guys so much for being here and for listening in. I have a free mini class if you would like to go and take that. It's on using and incorporating aromatherapy for mental clarity and emotional balance. This is a great way to start your year, to really get focused, to get your list together, to have a checklist of, all right, what are the things I need to do? How do I do this? How can I make it work for me. So in the comments below, I'm going to put that link if you want to go check out that free mini class. And I know Sharon has a lot of great things that she's offering as well.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a new year and a new start with my membership. For people that are maybe just listening and thinking, oh, well, how do I put these recipes together? And it is a little overwhelming at first. If you've got no training in aromatherapy, you're putting the recipes together. In our membership school, we've got a library, a ton of resources, depending on which, even if you just start off at a lower level, at the lavender level, you've got at least 150 recipes that I've already put together for different things that we've been talking about in this podcast, in past podcasts, in future podcasts. It's all there set out. Go and make them and all the different products and start to experiment. And then you can come up with your own recipes. You've got a safe place to start, and it's really reasonable. If you don't, it's not as overwhelming as diving straight into a course if that's where you want to dabble and start with. So yeah, I'll put that link also in the comments below, and you can go and check that out. Oh, and we have a little friend coming up.
Cammy was coming to say hi real quick. She's like, what? You have what, Sharon? I want to come.
She's anything to get that puppy energy under control. Have you got anything to calm her down? But yeah, I remember Harry being a puppy, and you've got to make time for that, not just because of the energy, but they grow up so fast, as we say, and so you don't want to miss out on that as well. So yeah, I think it's wonderful. Cami, we can give you some calming blends to keep her a little more under control.
I did. I diffused when I introduced them. I did put some scents into the house. That way it was very nice, relaxing, inviting for all of them. So I made sure we had aromatherapy. It was kind of a last minute, unexpected decision. So when we first came home, we didn't know we were bringing her home, that day. So I did have some aromatherapy going, and really within 24 to 48 hours. I mean, all of the animals, the cat and the two dogs, they're lay with each other, they play with each other, and they get along great. And I know that aromatherapy in here was really nice to take that edge off for them.
Yeah, it's a wonderful. Animals are a wonderful addition to the house and home. We got aromatherapy for our pets as well, and we do have a podcast on that. We can go back and listen to that. I think that was the second one we did. So yeah, it'll be in our library of podcasts to go back and listen to that. And maybe we'll do updates on puppies or something. I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
I'm writing them down now.
So this has been a great podcast. I want to thank everybody for listening. February, we've got something special coming up, Fragrant February. We're going to be talking about fragrance and functional fragrance and how you can use that in your day-to-day life. Lots of fun things on that. And I also will be talking a little bit more about my fragrances and what goes into that. And Jennifer, what will you be talking about?
The big thing about Fragrance February is that there's so much buzz around scent and the power of scent. And I think we've learned so much about when you can't smell, how that affects your mood, your mindset, even your physical body. But a lot of people are using chemical-based scents or fragrances that are not necessarily healthy. And as a person having health challenges, I have to be very careful with fragrance. And so what Sharon and I do, we use botanicals, straight botanicals that actually have health benefits, and that's known as functional fragrances. And so we're going to be talking about the benefits and why they're functional and how we can use them to be functional for our whole body. But also we're going to talk about our layered blending techniques when we are integrating fragrances. There's a layering that goes into that and why you would layer and the benefits that you're going to get from that. So we're going to go really deep into the power of fragrance, functional fragrances, how they work, why they work, and how you can use them and integrate. Because I know a lot of people are very sensitive to scents, but when you use them right and you use the pure straight from plant straight from nature, you're going to have a benefit from that. So we're going to get all into that in Fragrant February. We can't wait to see you
Yes.
then. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Yes. See you next time. Wow, what an incredible and inspiring Aroma Paths podcast episode. Thank you for joining us. We are your Scentcasters, Sharon Falsetto Chapman and Jennifer Pressimone. Please like this episode and subscribe to our channel to follow us on more Aroma Paths adventures.
Aroma Paths stepping fresh through the mist. Essential oils lifting vibes, feel the twist.